You've got to be kidding me. I think it's live, but now the video is not showing. Why is the camera not on? If you can hear me, bear with me just for a quick minute. We've got to try to add another video source here real quick because for some reason the webcam is not working. I'm trying to find it here real quick. I've had some trouble over the last 20 minutes trying to get this going. I want display capture. I need video capture device. Webcam. Okay, and okay, I think we're gonna be good. Possibly. Boom, camera's on. Okay, save, resize. There we go. All right, are we live? Is it up? I think we're finally going. That was some trouble. So let me click on another screen here and see if it's up. I think we're rolling. Okay, I'm on another screen clicking into YouTube because I've had a pain in the ass trying to get this figured out, but I think it's up. Is anyone in chat? Anyone watching? See if I can find it on my phone. I don't know. The OBS Studio, which I've used in the past, I haven't used in quite some time. They did an update. What's up, Jason? And Rooftop. Cool. It is getting out there. How's the video and the audio? If either of you guys were on yesterday, wow, I apologize. That was a disaster. It was not working very well at all. The audio was terrible. It was intermittent. The signal was bad. I left the Tamco product demo yesterday down at Speedway at the Delora factory, and let me tell you, there are some pretty good changes and stuff going on with that. I did a video, posted it yesterday, right before driving home yesterday. Sitting here, it's been here for about a half hour. I was going to go for just a half hour, do a little bit of live Q&A, questions if anyone had anyone, kind of talk about how yesterday went, what went on today. Just this weather this week has been a pain in the butt trying to dodge the weather. Today it rained and stormed like 3 or 4 different times. It'll come blowing in from the north and rain for a while, a little bit of lightning, dry up a little bit, then a light rain, then a storm. So we've had no roof production stuff going on this week. It's just been inspections, estimates. Got a little bit of video stuff done between yesterday and today, so I'm going to release some of that. And then the Delora factory, actually kind of cool. I just put together several little segments, shot on the cell phone, rendered it real quick, uploaded it, so I might release that a little bit later. It has really nothing to do with roofing, but it was at the Delora factory, so they took me on a tour, and I thought that was pretty cool, so I wanted to share it. Audio and video is good. Appreciate it. Thanks, Rooftop. We're going to keep this to a very short stream because if you've seen the lives, they typically can go on and on and on as long as people are there watching, any questions or whatever. So I'm going to cap this at like maybe 15 minutes because I need to get ready to get home. I just got back to the shop, a little damp from the last few roofs. Shot a handful of roofs today. Let's see here. Did a short, did a pipe boot inspection here. I'm not going to play him. There's another. There are several leaks on this house. This boot here had a leak, so I was going through and did an actual short video on that. Probably release that in the next few days. This one, it was raining pretty good here. The rain actually shut the video off. It hit stop, so I have to edit that in editing software. There's been a lot going on today. Here was the leak up top on the roof there, if you can see it. I need to do like a PowerPoint. So this one, kind of unique story, given a roof estimate on this house here. In my software, I've got 2 different stops with activity on that. One's back in 2020, back in 2022. Something about a car hit the house, but it was just really odd. Here's another roof inspection. Did a short video of this. If you guys want to see it, I'll upload it. It's of a chimney leak with no kickout flashing. There it is. There's me and my goofy self doing a video. Just been a really wet day today. Oh, and here's one in the shop earlier today of the Tamco shingles sticking, and there's that video. That actually turned out to be pretty long. That was very impromptu. Took them off the truck, figured, oh, what the hell, we'll sand them out in the sun, see how well it goes, see if they stick or not, and yeah, they stuck pretty damn good. So we're going to do some more testing with all that here soon. If anyone's got any questions, just chime in down below. Let me know where you're watching from. I don't recognize Rooftop in chat here where you're watching from. Jody. It's only a few people. I used to do Friday night live Q&A years back. I'm trying to find a good routine, a good time, a good day. I've done some midday, and they've done rather well. A lot of engagement and content, people chiming in. So let me know what times work best for you guys, and I'll try to figure out if I can work a set schedule, a set time once a week at a certain time and day. Fridays may not be good because chat is real low right now. Everybody's out doing their own thing. Infinity. If shingles are damaged due to the wind close to the ridge cap, do we have to manipulate the ridge to replace the shingles? Typically, if they're about 2 shingles down, you shouldn't need to get into the ridge. 3 shingles down, you should not have to at all. If it's within that top 1, definitely. Top 2, yes, because the ridge cap line is like right here. This shingle is going to be pinned down, and then the shingle below that, the headlap that goes under that shingle, is up in the ridge cap line. So typically at least 2 rows. The first 2 you're going to have to split apart to replace. So you're going to have to pop the ridge cap free, not completely out. It just depends on how much. Yeah, Jason, so the Tamco Titans, I'm thoroughly impressed with what they showed there. Now, I'm not going to go after hating on them for years, so a little backstory. I don't know what you've watched, what you've heard on the channel, but over the past years, I have absolutely hated Tamco. I've been very verbal about my opinion of Tamco. I did a video a week or so, a little over a week ago, and I had a Tamco rep reach out to me. You could tell in his voice he's kind of nervous. And I'm like, hey, if it works in my schedule, I'll go. But I've heard this stuff before, and getting there to see it, yeah. So in my market for the last 20 to 30 years, Tamco had the market here. Everybody installed Tamco. I hated it. Never stuck down. And that was Heritage, the Heritage line. So the Titan is the mid-grade, and there's some pretty cool stuff with it. So I did put a video out. Let me know. There's just a few of you in chat right now. If the video is 16 minutes, would you watch it, or is that way too long just talking about the seal strip? Because it's kind of going back and forth in between in the shade inside the shop versus 2 sitting out in the sun. And 1 point, I step on the shingle for 5 seconds each on each shingle just to see how it activated with this ambient temperature with a little infrared scanner. If you guys want to see that, I'll release it tonight. Unedited, unscripted, probably 16 minutes. If you guys have any desire to see that. And I do want to do a lot more testing, not just the Tamco line, but Tamco against the IKO Dynasty, the Owens Corning Certainteed, and the Certainteed Pro Lam, and the Owens Corning Duration. And the GAF HDZ, probably several shingles. What's up, Lil John, Igman? The newer Tamco, I found the yeah, the past ones did not stick worth a damn at all. I'll go grab one right out in the shop here in just a second. But again, I am going to keep this a very short stream. You recently watched an old video about going out on your own. Push it. Hey, Lil John. Lil John! No, that's awesome. Got your license and the work comp insurance. Got together and have 4. Hey, I'm proud of you. That is a hell of a first step. I can tell you, I remember the feeling of that. Hey, Deep Order, I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Get you a like on that. I'm still trying to figure out the issues with the OBS Studio since they pushed the new update. So guys, bear with me with these lives until I get them figured out and get an actual thing set up. And I don't know if I showed you guys in the last live. It's on that wall. Yeah. So I found in the cardboard box to my new sign back there. I almost threw the cardboard box away with this little remote, so you can remotely turn it on and off, and it's got a nice little dimmer to dim it so it's not so damn bright. You can get real bright, so that's kind of cool. But we're slowly gonna get into having some time to finish the office and studio out here. Let's see, what else did I miss here? Any other questions? But yeah, Lil John, congrats, man. Don't be discouraged. There's going to be a lot of people, friends and family. You know, you'll have one little thing go wrong, and they're going to be that little bastard crab pulling you back down to their level. Don't listen to them. I've been there, done that, and just keep focusing, 1 foot in front of the next. Keep going after what you know you need to do. Bring a good product, good service, and say what you do what you say, and you'll grow. Yeah, it is happy beer 30 on the half hour here. My plan was to do 30 minutes from 7 to 7:30, but I didn't get the stream up and going until just a few minutes ago, so we'll go a little bit longer here. Actually, you know what? Let's do a beer 30. Let me go grab one. I'll be here for about 15 minutes. Let me go grab one real quick. Haven't had a beer in a bit. Good old faithful Miller's. What's in the fridge today? Let's see what we got here. Where did I get the sign? I got the sign from, who was that? I think the thing's still up here. It's not an actual neon. I did a search for a neon light, but there's a much better way of doing it instead of blowing the glass tube and everything. Crazy Neon is the company online. You can find them online. Perfect to work with. I was kind of impressed. They are not here in the US though. Communication, website, everything's easy. I just simply uploaded a file of my logo. They quoted it really damn quick. I think the next morning I had the quote. I went back and forth via email just a little bit. I got busy. I think I got a follow-up email a week later. I said, you know what, just do it. And did it, and they made it, shipped it from Taiwan to here within a week, and it showed up. So I'd give them a thumbs up. I think the thing's pretty sweet. It looks good. The Tamco Titan shingle, it sticks in the package here pretty good, even on the cellophane. And one of my bitches in the past was this cellophane strip. I've talked about it before, that they have tried to reduce the width of the cellophane, and the seal would actually ooze out and stick to the shingle and kind of ruin bundles and bundles of them. This is perfectly in a linear line. It's not fat and oozing out over the cellophane. The cellophane strip is plenty wide right here, but it does stick. So this is not just an old oxidized asphalt sealer. It's not even an SBS sealer. It is an SBES sealer. There's another additive in there, and it's pretty damn gooey and sticky. So I don't have my GoPro to go wireless, but as far as the shop, I did get the little satellite mesh network on the other end of the building. So I'm hoping when I can test this, take the GoPro wireless see anywhere in the building and not have a connection issue like some of you witnessed last time I did it a week or two ago, whenever that was. What's going on? LR9 Vlogs. Yes, happy Friday. But you know, every day to me feels like a Friday. My wife gets so damn annoyed and pissed at me some days. She's like, don't you know what day it is? I'm like, well, to me, every day is busy. Every day is a work day. Every day is you need to go do something. You don't need to plan it for a weekend. You just go do it. Your family wants to do something, you just go do it. But you do have to make up for it. So, to those of you that say, damn, Brian, don't you know what day it is? Or if I missed an appointment, I'm sorry. Any roofing questions? Any other questions out there? Well, I've got a beer in hand here. How many hail counts on a slope would you consider to replace the entire slope? I feel like from my experience, and I am more of a retail guy, not an insurance guy, most of the time homeowners say, hey, can you be here to hound the insurance guy? And because that's what they're experiencing from a lot of door knockers, I try to refuse. Like, only if a homeowner absolutely has to have me there. Typically, I just tell a homeowner, like, look, they're going to do a job. Sometimes they deny them, sometimes they're good and they do their job. My price is usually pretty damn reasonable. If an inspector or adjuster sees it, desk adjuster sees it, like, approve it, yeah, go, no big deal. But what I've found is when you're hounding the adjusters, they typically resist the claim. And most of the time, I'm just like, let them do the job. If they deny it or miss something, then we'll bring it up. Usually, they see my estimate. I've already been there before the adjuster, and they just approve it. So, there's definitely some shifts in the market happening, I feel. I'm feeling like people are more cautious on the costs, the retail side of things, unless it's insurance and they've got the money coming from insurance to actually cover it. I feel like people are starting to become more cautious, so I'm trying to watch the expenses, trying to buy more in bulk, and not compromise on material or quality, but if you can find another competitor brand kind of like Tamco that is actually doing good, and I'm kind of blown away at some of the things I'm seeing, but their price margin is actually better than Owens Corning, Owens Corning duration, and the profit is a little bit better with the rebates are, pretty good. How do I feel about knockers? So are you talking about like a door knocker, like leaving it on a door? I've done that. I hate it. I probably won't ever do it again. Actually, when you bring it up, I got stacks of these right here. Old ones from years ago. The hardest part, the shittiest part, was taking hours to walk the neighborhood and hang them. So if you ever do want to do something like that, definitely look into a print shop near you, or just taking yours to the post office and they can just do it. And they can actually do it demographically, so it's not an entire neighborhood. It can do homeowners only. You can do men only, women only. You can do like owner occupied, not renters. There's so many different things you can do with those, but you just avoid walking unless you're going to have like kids do it and pay them to do it. I think it's a good thing to bring brand awareness. I don't know that it would lead to too much. Word of mouth. Word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth has been the best. LR9, what do I think about homeowners saying, I know somebody that can do it cheaper? Hey, more power to you. If you're confident that you can get it done for cheaper and you're, feel good that if there's an issue they're going to come back, then go for it. My cost is my cost. Rarely do I adjust it. I'm already kind of low on the profit margin, and it's I've got a decent profit margin, but I'm a lot cheaper than most people out there because I don't have the crazy overhead. I don't have a lot of trucks. I don't have salesmen, an office, receptionists, all that. So there's still a good profit margin. I am doing a lot in the company, but my price per square is already lower. So if they want to get it done for even lower than what I'm doing it for, then fine. Peace out. People that want a cheap price, they're going to be the worst customers to deal with. They're going to always come back with issues. How important is fancy invoices? I wouldn't say it's like super important, but I feel like having something that looks pretty professional is good. There's so many different pieces of software out there right now. What I typically use is Job Nimbus. I don't think I have anything up. Let me see if I can do something here real quick. I think I can. Bear with me just for a second. I'm going to pull up and create a quick dummy one and either share my screen or pull the camera up to it here real fast. Let me see if I can just create a bogus file, because I have a file in Job Nimbus of my property here at the shop. Okay, the pricing is going to be off because I haven't updated the spreadsheets, but I'm just going to basically go to create estimate, and I got this new one, so it's the legacy version. I'm going to click save template, new roof. I know you can't see this, but just give me a second because I don't know. I don't want something to pop up that I don't want seen. I'm going to type in duration. I'm just going to put like 33 square. Oh shit, you know what? I'm going to add one other thing. So on your question, I don't have chat up, but I'm going to go back to you here in a minute. I want to point something else. So let me edit this. I forgot to do something. Every property I go to, I take pictures front, up and around, backside, document all that. It's all time stamped. Just in case there is damage that arises, you can prove that it's already been there. But this is one thing I've gotten really good feedback on when it comes to professional estimates. In this piece of software, I'm sure most of them have it, you can click this little paperclip icon, and let me see if I have a picture of the shop on this file. I think I do. I got some of the garden. I think I got the parking lot. Yeah, let me just click this right here. And scroll down. Well, there's a lot of pictures here. Add, save, and then I'll share the screen here. You guys can see it. I'll be back in chat here in a minute too. Alright, so extend screen. Okay, there we go. Close this out. So here's what my estimates look like, and it'll print out in a PDF file. I think the screen you're seeing is much smaller. Yeah, it's not showing the entire screen. What the heck? Okay, I gotta shrink this down real quick, guys. Hang on. Some little issues here. We're trying to crop this back into view here. All right, there we go. So this is how it looks within the software, but you can simply click email. But I like to have something with basic contact info, phone numbers, email address, physical address, anything like that. And then invoice number, whatever, your description of what you're doing. But I've had people actually give me feedback with the photos. So if you're trying to show documents or photos close up of damage, you can show that right here. And you can have your line items. I mean, it's a very basic, brief example of it. Let me bring chat back up here. See what I missed in chat. So, like QuickBooks Cheat, QuickBooks Online, I think all those have stuff. Who was it that said that? What do you feel about ICO? Don't know that wasn't you. I'll get back to your questions here in a second. Whoever it was, I think having something that looks professional is kind of important, but not necessarily to get started, if that answers your question. Oh, and who it was, Infinity, about the hail. Yeah, I didn't quite answer that question too, so I'm going back up from the wrong direction here. So from my experience, they like to see 6 to 8 in that range is where I've been seeing them getting approved. I've seen some people come in and approve them with minor hail damage, you know, a few good hits and some light little stuff. Again, it's not really my area of expertise. So I would say the 6 to 8, you should be getting them approved. Just how bad is it? How do I feel about ICO Dynasty? I've been installing them. So Dynasty I've done. I did a few hundred square Dynasty a couple of years ago. It's not bad. It's better than I thought it was going to be. It's better than the Cambridge for sure. But I have had some issues with them not sticking down their seal strip. As far as it being on the bottom, I was kind of leery on that, but it did hold good. But comparing that to the Titan, which is also on the bottom, and I'm going to compare these to the Dynasty, because the Dynasty is almost like a woven cloth like the synthetic paper. So it's got maybe, I'm just guessing, a 1/8 inch thick. Actually, I think I've got a Dynasty out there. I can run out and grab one. But the woven cloth is much bigger, and I've had the nail actually pull through the shingle and pop out through that cloth. Whereas this one, it's almost like the grippy part of synthetic paper. It's much more coverage, surface tension that's pressed in. It's like more doped and stuck into the asphalt mat, so it's a lot harder to peel off. Honestly, I think I'm liking this a lot better than even the duration, because the duration on the top part, yeah, cutting, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but you cut it once. I've had a few people comment, oh, that little flap on the top. I've had some people say when you cut it, it peels it loose, but it stops at that first nail. There's some things that I think could be improved on, or possibly room for a superior product. And I've not installed Dynasty. I haven't even installed, or I'm sorry, I've not installed Titan. I haven't even installed Tamco in the last 15 years or so. I mean, it's been a minute. But this here, from what I've been trying, I'm kind of mind blown with. So we're definitely going to be doing a lot more of that in the very near future. Doorknob. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anyone here. Fancy invoice. Okay, that was Jenny. Shingle over style ridge cap. Are they above the ridge? Is my stream lagging that far? Up in studio, it shows it way behind. I don't understand what you're asking, Infinity. Shingle over style ridge cap, are they above the ridge? I don't, are you talking about the hip and ridge that goes on top of ridge vent? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Who will replace the rifted nut? Recommend slot for the ridge. How important is proper ventilation? Proper ventilation is actually pretty damn important. You want, I'd say probably the most important thing with ridge vent, and actually, let me see where it's at here, somewhere up on my wall there. Yeah, Quarrix, Quarrix. They had a show down at the ABC Home Builders thing that I went to. It was a several-hour class and learned a lot. And I'd say probably one of the biggest takeaways is properly matching your inlet with your exhaust. Don't just go for the gusto on one and ignore the other. You can actually improperly imbalance. And little things like if you have a ridge that is enclosed on its own, that's fine, you can vent it. But if it is in the lower 2/3 of the roof, and it is open attic in the area, and you ridge vent that, that can actually act as an inlet vent going into the main attic. So there are some things to be aware of with ventilation, and it is kind of important. Do you install Oak Ridge? Do you go straight to duration? Years ago, I would do Oak Ridge and then quote up if they wanted it. But what I'm finding is just Oak Ridge started cutting colors. They would want that color, and then you'd have to bump up, and they get kind of upset when you raise the price. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. The duration became a class 3. A lot of people in the industry are making their mid-grades class 3. I just kind of abandoned the entry level of Oak Ridge. That wasn't much more in cost, but having the class 3 hill rating classification in the actual estimate has actually gotten me jobs, because some people may not mention it. Even though it's only a class 3, they read through the description and they see that and they question it, and they're happy to keep it there and not go down to the lower grade. But then if they think the price is kind of high, then you can still go down, but most of the time they stick with it, the mid-grade. No lag? All right. Probably no lag from when you're watching it, but from me on my screen, it's about a 2-minute lag. I appreciate that, though, Jason. And Lil John. Infinity, yes, you're saying the ridge cap on top of the hip and ridge. You go back up to your question there. How do you feel? Shingle over style ridge cap. Are they above the... I think I understand what you're asking. So you're going to have the ridge vent. Like, you're going to roof both sides up. You're going to make sure it's opened up properly. You're going to put your ridge vent down, and then you're going to put your hip and ridge on top of that, just like you would normally do without the ridge vent. But it's going to have ridge vent under it. Unless you're doing like a metal ridge cap, which I don't see around here very much. How necessary is it to include photos, Jenny? I wouldn't say it's super necessary, but when all your competition is just sending a plain handwritten note, which is really not good, or a simple carbon copy handwrite out, that's better, or a nice clean PDF that can be emailed right to them, and then on the back end on your side, you can simply type up and search at any time remotely anywhere, that's even better. But then the photos are just one extra notch above the competition. So if you see something that you think could draw attention to a particular area, an area that might need flashing, an area that might need ventilation, something that you see that's not there, you can show that in your estimate and you can note it or have a note section. I think that just draws more attention from the homeowner, whoever's looking at the estimate, to what little extra effort you put into it. And it just distinguishes you as a bigger pro in the field. Infinity, how often have you seen ice and water shield on both the valleys and the eaves? Around here, everything we're tearing off, we don't see it. We still see the old roll roofing for valleys, or some, we're getting into like, now it's been 20 years or so, people aren't really using it. We see it in the valleys. Hell, even, I just drove through Hamilton County yesterday on my way back from the Delora factory, and in Sheridan, there's a neighborhood going in. They're still just whipping that stuff out with no apron, no drip edge, no ice and water, because Hamilton County doesn't require it. So there's still a lot of people installing it, really cutting corners. Around here, it's in every estimate. We don't upsell it, we just figure it. It should have it in our area, we figure it. How often have you seen improper installation cause damage on the roof? Every single day. Every day. Every day I go up on a roof, I see it. Which, by the way, I took a phone call. I don't want to say the names, but you've probably seen the video of one of the world's worst roof ever contractor edition, where a GC screwed this homeowner. He actually reached out today, wanted to know that I may be called as a witness to testify or to be a witness in this case if it goes to trial. I mean, it's that bad. I see this stuff every single day. Carlos, appreciate that. The idea here, have you ever done an episode that is focused strictly on valleys and why you should choose the particular valley? I don't think I've done a full episode on it, but I know I've covered it in like walkovers of roofs. I would see different types of valleys and I would explain what you need to do if it's a close-cut valley, why I like California valleys better, or the best of the best is going to be an open-cut W valley, something like that. I've talked about it briefly, not a full dedicated episode. I need to note that down, so I appreciate it. What's up, Mr. Marcus? It's beer 30. Actually, it might be on the hour now, and we'll have to wrap up soon. Getting into a nice little flow here, but my little girl's probably going to be going to bed before too long, so I will wrap up soon. Let's just say another 15 minutes maybe, and then I'll get out of here. And thanks again, D. Porter. Appreciate that again, by the way. GAF. What's that comment saying down here? Let me see. Let me go back up to infinity. On a metal roof, if you replace one slope, can you detach and reset the ridge on the slope if you replace it? So if I'm understanding your question right, if you got a metal roof, can you detach the ridge on this side, replace the metal on this slope, and reattach that? Yeah, just every roof might be a little unique, so I don't know, is it exposed fastener or is it going to be a standing seam? It's going to be harder if you got standing seam. Standing seam is going to be put in, and it's going to have that Z-bar, the locking clip that's going to go up under there, and you're going to have to probably pop loose and manipulate or lift that up a bit to get the screws out of the Z-bar. So certain scenarios, certain types of materials and products, it could be harder. I would think you're referring to maybe it got damaged by hail and they sloped it out and you want to replace one side. It can totally be done. It just might be a little harder in some scenarios. The Titans have a superior nail strip opposed to GAF. Well, GAF is really declining in their quality. They're big bullies in the market. They just think they can force you to be quiet about it, and they think their stuff is so good. It's really not. I was telling a guy at the ABC Supply today, they had a little, I don't know what they called it, like a grand opening, 1-year anniversary contractor appreciation thing, which, by the way, I was a little disappointed because out of my Malarkey rep, my OC rep, my ICO rep, my GAF rep I didn't recognize, all the people at ABC, just basically everybody there that I know that knows me, I never once got an invite except for Zach with Tamco. So thank you, Zach, for letting me know about it to show up to it. But we were talking about it there. Another local roofer I know that follows me, he made it to Kokomo. We were talking. I'm like, why would you want to brag about making your shingle thinner there for the sole purpose of shipping and distribution for the bundle to be a little flatter, but total disregard and neglect for the fact of when it's installed on the roof, you have that much less material for the nail to hold down. And the proof is in the pudding. When you lift that shingle up, it just pops right off. So yeah, I'm going to call it now. If GAF doesn't, if they keep focusing on putting their strong hand and putting the smack down on people talking and trying to just focus on buying people to their product, they're going to have a big issue come up. It's going to start to haunt them. And take note, because Tamco had a big issue decades ago. They just neglected the contractor's word and voice and what's going on and say, you know, people in the field installing it, it's a shit shingle. Instead of fixing it then, they totally lost market share in our area. Tamco had the market in our area back in 2000, 2010, and no distributors here carry it. So about 4 years ago, Titan hit the market, and they're having an uphill battle for sure. Certainty landmark fairly early due to the excessive granule loss. They're not standing behind their product. I've not done a lot of Certainty. We have installed it. It's not a bad shingle. I don't want to knock it. I don't have any experience in warranty claims with them. I don't have any experience on a lot of quality issues just because we haven't done much. I've done a few roofs here and there, but I could say it. One of my biggest complaints is they want to be exclusive to contractors in the supply houses, but late after hours, you're still working, you need a bundle or two, you can't find it anywhere that's open. So that's one of my biggest things, and I want to kind of slightly distinguish myself from other competitors, not just by using a different product, but by using something that is more superior. And if Owens Corning keeps going the way they go and they want to keep sticking it with the price and not improving anything and just whining and dining, that's not the kind of the model I want to go. So it is in the back of my mind. I don't want to say their name and throw them under the bus, but I mean, every shingle manufacturer has had issues over the years. Bill Jeff, excuse me, my friend, I have bad English, but I have a question. What if the roof needs to go to bathroom or restroom? Are you trying to troll the channel, or the roof got to go to shit, or what? I don't understand what you're asking there. Swag, I have same question. Are there bots getting into the channel here? Have I ever had synthetic felt reduce the lifespan of the roof? No, I can't say that I've ever had any issues like that. We've been using synthetic paper for, I don't know, 15 years or something now. I can only say the only issue I've had with synthetic paper is sometime, rare occasion, you'd have a buckle to it. Now old felt paper, you could just simply slice it and overlap it, and it's easy to fix and address, or it'll crinkle over and likely flat. But I've had one time comes to mind where it had a little kink in it, like a little ripple, and it didn't want to lay down. It didn't want to fold over and crinkle, and it left the shingle kind of raised high. So I had to go back and remove a shingle and get that piece cut and repaired and put the new shingle back in. Not really reduce the lifespan. Bill and Jeff, no friend. I think it's bots. You think you mean if the roof has to use the bathroom? Not sure what he means. Complete the job fast and then you can use the bathroom. Do I think the roofing market has gotten oversaturated? I think there's a lot of people in the roofing industry now, a lot of salesmen. So yeah, it's going to be, I wouldn't say it's hard. Competition can be good. It's just going to make it more difficult. You're going to have to set yourself apart, really get out there and work it, unless you just have a lot of money to throw at advertising. How often do I go back to check on roofs that we have worked on? Not too often. When we get a call back, I try to work it to the very top of the list and go right out. I mean, even canceling an appointment to get to it, to work it in quicker if it's a customer that's used us. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, probably a couple times a year maybe, where I have to go back, and usually it's a minor issue or something that's not even our issue. Like, I can think of a couple instances, and it's usually in the winter time. Rental homes, the landlords or property managers will be like, hey, you got a roof leak, and it's like, conditions, the temperatures, everything's just right. Ends up being there's like no insulation in the attic, something we didn't get in to see. They just want a cheap roof thrown on. We don't go do a lot of inspections and schedule with property managers, owners, tenants to get in to do an inspection like that. But you'll find like where there's a little low insulation in an area and you get a lot of radiant heat coming through, it condensates, drips back down. Or another common cause is a break in a pipe, a vent pipe running lateral with water and condensation, then it drips in. Another common one is going to be where an HVAC sump pump pumps up into an attic and into a cast iron pipe and it's come undone. So little things like that that aren't even on us. Most of the stuff that we do to eliminate any potential callbacks, just do a good thorough inspection of every job and make sure if you do find something, nip it in the bud and get it addressed and fixed right then and there. Where you at from, Lil John? A lot of sales guys in your area get promised a crazy salary just to get them, and then they don't last long. Do I ever go back over an old job photos to make sure you hadn't missed anything? Like go over the photos to see if I missed something, like something we're supposed to do or missed a tool or something. Like every job we do, I usually walk and go over everything and check everything thoroughly. You know, there's been times I've gone and seen the gutter guys have left levels up in a torpedo level in the gutter, just little things like that. Occasionally newer guys, I'll see like a piece of flashing isn't great, and I'll just address it real quick. Northeast Arkansas. There's a guy that used to follow me. He's up in your area. Something Roofer. Super Roofer. Super Roofer used to be a good avid follower and comment. I think he was in the Arkansas area. Paying sales guys is not advisable, in your opinion, or paying a salary. Methods used in material choices. Material choices, not going the cheapest and making sure you use what you need for your climate in your area. Is it bad to have too many roof vents? You know, I just had a phone call today with John Abernathy, nice long 2-hour phone call. If you see me up looking this way, this is where my comments are, so I apologize. And one of the things he was talking about is some of the guys that write the code for ventilation, they were talking one day, and he's just like, yeah, what'd you think of this rule, the 5300 or whatever? And he's like, honestly, I just threw it in there. They wanted something formally put down, so I just guessed. And I'm like, wow, okay. I think if it's matched good, it's important. I know before I took the ventilation class years back when I did my roof, I built a lot of it. I put a ton of inlet ventilation, and I've got a ton of outlet ventilation. We've had days where the wind blows and it hits the front of the house and goes up, and I was worried maybe it's going to cause too much draft and blow insulation around, but when I've gone up there, it's not been an issue. It's still warm in the attic, but it is venting out pretty good. I think it's more important to not mix different types of ventilation. You don't want a power fan and a box vent right here. You don't want box vents on both sides. You don't want box vents and ridge vent, because the wind can do, well, not the wind, the turbulent air inside can just, it'll come in a box vent and go around into the power fan. It's going to pull from the least resistance. So I think doing it properly in the right locations and matching the amount is better than having a shit ton in and a shit ton out, is, you know, if that makes sense. Bill Jeff, for somebody that doesn't speak good English, your name is very English, I must say. The ventilation class I went to was the Corex. That's the company that put a ventilation class on earlier this year that I went to. They do a lot of stuff. If you've seen those little roof vent plugs, it's got like a piece of OSB 8" by 8" and a little metal flange that drops down to hold it and you nail on the roof deck. They're the ones that make those, and a lot of other various ventilation products. They have hip inlet vents, they have ridge vent, all kinds of stuff. OSB is the oriented strand board. It's the same stuff you see on the wall right over here off to my side. It's just oriented strand board. It was a byproduct that they turned into a building material. Is it less desired as plywood. I mean, CDX plywood is definitely going to be better, but it also costs quite a bit more. I mean, this does the job. It's perfectly fine. Making sure the thicknesses and the spans and things like that are going to be a little more important. I've seen CDX board delaminate too with moisture and heat over time. Because the shingle can't breathe, you say, Rooftop? I find people really like to put tons of ice and water on these days, and I think it will cause issues in the long run because the shingles can't breathe. Yeah, I'm not a fan of doing everything in ice and water. I know some people upsell like a complete slope with ice and water, and I understand if you're doing a lower slope than desired, you should use ice and water. I understand why, because it backs up. But, man, people that do a lot of ice and water down the road, you're going to re-deck your house when you redo your roof because it's so aggressively stuck. As far as, is it not going to allow something to breathe? You know, if you've got proper inlet and outlet ventilation in your attic, that should breathe there, but you shouldn't have moisture from your ice and water under the shingle unless it was in there during the install. Jason, I was hoping to see the outcome of overall look. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You know, we don't get into a whole lot of flat roof stuff. The only flat roof stuff we do is going to be like porch lean-tos or some commercial stuff, and the ventilation, I really haven't gotten into a lot of that. Jenny, any way to get roof reports at a discounted rate? Actually, I was just talking to Abernathy about that, and he had mentioned some supply places. I don't know where you buy from. You might want to check with them. Maybe they get a bulk discount. Roof reports, like I imagine you're thinking like Eagle View, Hover, Roof Sketch, Roof Snap, anything like that. I personally use Roof Snap, and it's like $100 a month, but you can do unlimited reports. It just takes a few minutes to do. Marcus, is it clay tile roof like in Florida? Style of home's okay for Indiana? Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be good here. It's going to last a long time. It's also going to cost a lot. I don't know if you can even really find much of it in our area. You just don't see them here. Are you looking at thinking that for your roof? Just, I mean, it definitely lasts if it's installed right, but you're going to pay for it at the front end. Jason, the camo panel you're going to install in the shop? Yeah, it's still sitting over here. Just nothing in the shop has changed since you guys have been here. The only difference is I got the sign and I got a safe, and nothing else is finished. I still have the sheet of wood back there just acting as a wall for the toilet. I just haven't had time to do anything with it. Jenny Lynn, what about IWS over slopes where there is a tree cover that isn't getting trimmed back? I'm not sure what you're talking about. We're going to wrap this up here in just a couple minutes, guys. It's 8:11. Like at 8:15, we're going to just shut it down. I appreciate it. Wow, we've already been 48 minutes. I do need to get going, get ready to head home. Real quick, with a few guys that are in here, let me know what time works best, what day works best. Just please, somebody chat in the comment section what day, what time would work best for live Q&A. And I'll try to keep it more consistent. Hello, John. You have a 212 sunroom coming off a 512. What would it do that? Coming up. So you've got like a 212 slope coming off of a 512 coming up. So is it like the right at the transition is popping up, or is it pulling away, or is the roof coming loose? Mark, yeah, so any kind of stamped roof you get or roof panels that look like the clay, they're still going to be costly. It's probably going to be a little more affordable than clay, but as any roof, I'm one of you guys that'll tell you, you could have the best roofing material as long as it's installed good, it's going to be good. I don't care how good the material is, if you install it like shit, it's not going to last. And you can look at some of the worst roof ever videos I've done, you can see that. Somebody thinks they're going to get a 50-year, 60-year paint warranty on their metal, and it's just installed and leaking from day one. It's not good. Appreciate that, Jason Lewis. I'm trying to get a little more consistent. The past couple weeks, I've been a little more consistent of recording and just pulling the phone out, trying to find something on the roof that I think somebody could learn something from. And I think I did like 4 or 5 videos just today and 2 or 3 yesterday. Has a 512 roof, but a 212 add-on sunroom that is coming into the 512. But what's it doing? Are the shingles coming off, or is the deck coming up? Carlos, 5 p.m. Pacific, most time 5, 5, 6, 7. Like, so basically what time I started now, we're Eastern time here, so it's 8:14. I'm trying to make sure it's not going to be, today's a little different because my daughter and my wife being home, but I want to make sure it's not interrupting my family dinner time or when we're putting our daughter down for bed. And it's kind of hard at my house because where the room is, it's just real noisy. Neither. It's hail damage, and I wasn't sure if it would be ice and water. I'm still not sure what you're talking about. So being a 212, you should have, actually, 212 is really low slope. I wouldn't recommend shingles on it. So if you're going to do anything like that, definitely use ice and water because that's really flat. You're going to get water wicking back up under due to surface tension and stuff. And maybe even overlap your shingles a little bit lower than they should be, and also definitely watch your keyway spacing. I would use a low slope system, some sort of roll roofing, TPO, EPDM, something like that. Thoughts about rhino lining a roof? I think that'd be pretty sweet. I don't know how costly it would be, but it'd be pretty sweet. I would like to see a video maybe about the spray stuff. Oh, like the spray on roofing, like I don't know, Gacko, Karnak. I think there's a few on the market like that. Gacko, not Gacko. I think I gave that jug away to somebody. All right, people, I appreciate it. I do need to get ready to go. Have I had a debate with another roofer about how to repair a roof, and the property owner ends up arguing to the other roofer? I'm sure you had a better idea. No, that's definitely a unique one. I mean, I've had issues where I've spoke before, like finding out who did a repair, and it was the homeowner who did the repair, and I'm like, this is not good. And he's like, I did that. But no, I've not had any argument with another contractor or the way that we had talked about doing a repair. How long in, what does it say, how long in your roofing career did it take you to actually put shingles on? So I started in 2000, and when I started roofing, some of the guys there, they didn't think I was going to make it a day. Some of the guys thought I was worthless and didn't even want to hire me just based on how small I was at the time. And at the time, the foreman's brother, he's like, no, this guy knows his shit. He's going to do good. And within as little as a couple months, I went from being a laborer, tearing roofs off and cleaning trash, to had a gun in my hand and learning sections, you know, learning how to roof on smaller sections. And then I don't remember exactly, just within I'd say 3 to 6 months, I was roofing sections on my own. Take it easy, Infinity. The problem is with me is I stuck with that way too long, and then I got into management and stuck in management way too long. Clayton Howard. Appreciate it if you're out here. Have a good one. I've been doing this with Grand Riffing since 2017, so it's time starting to tick by pretty quick here. You've seen other people. You're probably talking about other people on YouTube and how they're bigger on YouTube, and you wonder why. Yeah, I do that too. There's a few I'm like, how the hell do they have 60 to 100 or 150,000 subscribers when they don't post, they don't show anything truly knowledgeable? I don't know, whatever. Algorithm, yep. Appreciate it, Mark. You have a good one. Still waiting on you to swing by and check the place out. Have a drink. That's a good cue for me because I'm already another few minutes past. People, I appreciate you chiming in. I only had one or two people comment on a time, so let me know what time works best for you, what time zone you're in, so I know what time to do these. Even if it's like a lunch thing. It's kind of cool having the actual interaction, reading the comments, and be able to try to answer whatever particular things you guys want answered instead of like researching through a ton of videos to try to get the answer. Just ask me and I'll let you know. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. I'll try to do another one this coming week. I just don't know what day. The little girl starts school this week, so I'm going to have to kind of get into the new groove of things. But again, please let me know. Just let me know what time, what day works best for you guys, and I'll try to cater those times. And keep an eye out on the notification bar. I might release a video here shortly when I get home, possibly of the Delara factory, which is really cool. So, all right, appreciate you guys all. Appreciate it, Deep Order, for the tip there. It really means a lot. I appreciate it. It takes a lot to actually run this channel. I do want to grow the channel and share what I know with many more people out there than just one roof a day. But just a simple thumbs up goes a long way, and thank you for the tip there. As always, until next time, be safe, and we'll try to catch you on another live here real soon. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good weekend. Thanks. Bye.